A 4-month investigation by Voice of San Diego and NBC7 found what they call a pervasive pattern with significant correlation between a number of local school districts and campaign donors awarded big contracts on the very bond projects they backed. Voice of San Diego's Will Carless joins me with more on his investigative report and will give us a summary of this investigation.
So very briefly, what we did was we went and looked at who was funding bond campaigns. Who are the people who end up paying for the campaign signs, the robocalls, everything that involves getting a campaign measure past the voters. And then we went and saw if the same companies that had written large checks ended up doing the work once the bond money started flowing. And we found in, I think it was 13 of the 17 districts that have issued bonds, we found a significant correlation.
How many districts, you did say, did you look at? And the significant correlation, tell us about that as far as how much money was donated and
Right.
what happened.
So we had to hone in. Obviously, there are thousands upon thousands of people who give anywhere from $5, to $50,000 to bond campaigns. So we focused in on anybody who gave more than $5,000. And so in every district, there are anywhere from sort of 2 or 3 to a dozen of these donors. And we went to see the correlation. And what we found was that in 72% of the time, the companies that had given those large donations ended up being awarded contracts to work on the bond program.
Let's take a look at this graph kind of detailing some of that work. So tell us, this is about the money that was spent and the correlation. What are we looking at there?
So it's various different districts, I think, that show the correlation. These, I think you guys selected kind of the most interesting districts, let's say, where there was a very strong correlation between the donors, and most of them ended up getting contracts, if not all of them.
All right, and how much, as far as local school districts, I wanted to bring this up, they're doling out hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayer money for these bond projects. Is this type of quid pro quo legal?
Well, let's be clear, if there is a proven quid pro quo, if a company has come to a district and said, we will give you money if you give us a project, then no, that's not legal. According to the Legislative Council, who are basically the lawyers who advise the legislature, they've gone and taken a look at the statutes, and they say that's definitely not legal. The thing is that you can't really prove that. And to be fair, I'm not going to say that that's definitely happening, right? You go to districts, you talk to people, they say it's kind of could be happening over there, but it's not happening over here.
Is it happening in San Diego Unified, our largest school district?
So San Diego Unified is one of the three or four districts that we actually decided we couldn't fairly say that there was a correlation there, and that's for a number of reasons. For a start, just about everybody in town gives money to San Diego Unified, regardless of whether they end up getting contracts. That's one important thing. The second is that San Diego Unified does things pretty differently. It doesn't do these lease-back contracts, which allow a district to sort of select the company that they're going to work with.
So they have some checks and balances in that.
Yeah.
What about the districts who were who did award these large contracts to these big donors? What did they say when you talked to them about this?
Basically, they said there's no connection. We're not influenced in any way by who's given us money. The selection process is separate. It's different people who are making those decisions, and you're drawing conclusions whether or none to be drawn.
Yeah. All right, strange coincidence, though. We are out of time, so I want to let people know that they can read your story and Wendy Fry's entire story by going to our website, kpbs.org.